Okay, so you've had a chance to look at the Create button, the left-hand navigation columns, and now we're going to look at really the main part of a workspace, and that is the cards. So the cards make up your workspace. They are the means through which you communicate everything you want your learner to know, all of the resources, all of the media that you want your learner to have access to, and information that you want them to have. When you open up a blank workspace, you're going to have these 4 blank squares here within the columns. And these are the starting points for your cards. To create a card, you simply hit one of the little plus symbols. And doing that opens up your card edit mode. And this is the card edit mode. So in here, you would put the title of your card, whatever it may be. This is completely up to you. And what your purpose of your workspace is. You would type in the description of your card and what the purpose of your card is here. And then you put in your media. So you have a few options when it comes to media. You can upload something directly from your computer. You can open up your Google Drive, and this gives you access to absolutely everything in your drive. This is a wonderful example of how Hapara syncs beautifully with G Suite and our Google files. You can also put in a link, so a link to any website, any YouTube video, all of those things, you can put the link in there. The other option is to create new. So you can create a new Google Doc, Google Sheet, Google Slide, or Google Drawing. And when you click on one of these, it will open up in a new tab and allows you to edit from there. And then you can close it and go back, and it is still within your workspace. So you see now I have the Google Doc is in there. The other option when you have the edit mode working, edit mode in place, is that you can add groups. Now, this isn't available to me right now because this workspace I'm working on is not assigned to any classroom. If I have this assigned to a classroom, I could assign this card to specific groups. So that's what that is for there. The other option is you can tag this card. So you might say all cards of a similar nature, you're going to give a heart tag or any other thing you want to do, and you can color code them as well there. And then I'm going to go ahead and click done. Now, one thing to note that's really great, I know I've certainly appreciated it, is that everything you do in here automatically saves for you. So say, for example, I forget to hit done and I just click out of it somewhere. It's still going to save everything and look exactly like it is. So nothing's going to be lost there. Now, if you have your card, and here we have our card, but it's not quite done yet. There's a few other things I want to do. First, I want to be able to edit this again, so I can go back in and edit. Let's say I wanted to add in some more text. I'll edit a bunch more text there into the description box. So I'm going to do that and hit done. Okay, so when you have a lot in the description area, you can go show more or show less. So showing more will open up the entire text for you. Showing less will just close it like that. I can also do a bunch in the description, in the title. So I can also keep clicking out of it. And if I paste all of that text into the title, I'll show you how that looks. Then I have it all in the title like that. So there's a couple different options and ways you can play with a card in order to make it your own. Okay, and the other thing that helps you with organizing your cards is the ability to color code them. So when I open up that 3 dots, I have my color card. So I can choose what color I want the card to be. And I'm going to say this nice blue here. I'm going to close that. So there I have my card all ready to go. In here, I can move the card up and down sections. I can also copy the card. This is a new update that Hapara just released. So I can click on here and I can copy this card to a clipboard. Once the card's copied to the clipboard, you can see that I have now this tab that's opened up. I can click on it. It shows me what card has been copied to the clipboard. Now I can hit this little plus button, add to workspace, and that adds it into my workspace. And I don't need to add it into the same workspace. So one of the really great aspects of this update is that I can go now into a different workspace and place my copied card into that workspace. So it's a really great thing to use, especially if you're looking at somebody else's workspace and you want to maybe use a certain aspect of that workspace, a couple cards. Well, you can copy those now and put them into your own instead of having to copy the entire workspace. So that's a really awesome aspect. And I'm going to clear all and move those. One of the things to note when you copy a card is that you can't move them across columns. So a copy card will always be pasted into the column that it was copied from. That's something important to note. And the reason for that is because the cards have different restrictions depending on the column they're in. So cards that are in the first and second column, you can add as much media as you want into one card. So if I go ahead and open this in edit mode, I can add a Google Doc, I can put in a link, I can add in something from my Google Drive. Okay, so I can have a bunch of media within one card, and they're all there. I can also do that under the resources, under the second column and the third column. The fourth column rubrics. The third column is the exception. So in the third column, I'm going to go ahead and open a card here. So you see the edit mode looks a little different. I still have an option to put in my title and description. And I have the option to upload media from my computer, from my drive, or put a link in and create new. However, I'm only able to do one media per card when it comes to the test section. This is the column that is more your assessment section. So if you're wanting to do any formative assessment or a summative assessment, these cards are the way to go. You can assign the students or your learners to get a copy of whatever media you have in here. You can give it a copy per student or per group. And you can schedule a start and end date here. This scheduling a start date, what makes the card visible to the learner. So if I were to schedule a start date on October 27th, this card would not be visible to my learner until October 27th. So it's something, a nice little way to direct your learners in terms of they can't just skip to the assessment. You really want them to go through the resources and to learn the material. Okay. All right, so that's all we have for cards right now. There's a lot more information as you go down through the sections, but why don't you go ahead and build your own card and see what you can do. Thank you.